All right, I'm here at my latest rental, short-term rental that I am currently BRRRRing, meaning I bought it, I've rehabbed it, I am renting it, and I'm at the final stage of the refinance. So I'm gonna go over right now how I found this deal, how I set up the remodel, and how I am executing on my refinance, but also how I'm manipulating with short-term Airbnb to maximize my rent. So this deal was found in a Facebook group. Another local real estate agent, had this deal and she posted it and said, hey, if anyone's looking for a deal, come check it out. So I jumped right on it. This was in November of 2020 as a reference point for when we go back and look at what values, where they're at and where they're going. But it's a triplex near Liberty Park, near downtown Salt Lake, right around 5th East and 4th South. So I'm gonna kind of turn around a little bit while we're talking and you can kind of see the park behind me. Fantastic location. Each one of these units started out as a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and there's a 3-car garage. So what I did was I bought this for $585,000. So $585,000 is my purchase price. When I first walked through it, I estimated the rehab, and as you can see from some of the before photos that we're showing, at about $90,000 to $100,000. And what my plan was to start and how we're continuing to execute on it was, I knew this would be a really good Airbnb short-term rental because it's so close to downtown, it's so close to Sugar House, it's so close to Liberty Park, there's just tons of amenities, it's close to the freeways to get up to the canyons. It's just a really, really good spot. And it's super cute, it's on a corner, it's an all brick, built in like the 50s triplex. So there's a front unit, which is this one, there's a rear unit, and then there is a basement unit. So the front unit and then the basement unit, they're both 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And then I made the back unit a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So all in all, at the end of the day, I've spent about $120,000 in my remodel. And the quick scope of work, which we'll be showing here, is each unit I converted so that there's a separate entrance for each unit. They're totally isolated. Every unit has its own washer and dryer, its own HVAC, obviously its own kitchen. So really every unit can act on its own. It has its own heating and cooling, it has its own laundry, etc. So that is going to be key for short-term Airbnb because obviously people don't want to have to share that kind of stuff. So I'm into the remodel about 120, but add on about 36 to 40,000 for all the furnishings. So I'm all in right around 160,000. So this is our first month doing Airbnb, and we are pretty consistently booked between the 3 units. There's a couple of days that, don't have guests, but for the most part, we're booked around the clock. And so how the rent, so what we've talked about so far is we bought it, we've rented it, now we're renting it. So long-term rents, I figured between the 3 units would be about $5,500 a month. With Airbnb, even after paying my awesome short-term management company their fee, I expect to be netting about $7,500 a month. So that's a huge difference. That's $2,000, right? So, but keep in mind, I spent close to $40,000 on the furnishings. So the reality is it's gonna be pretty darn good cash flow, but it'll probably take me 1.5 to 2 years before I really start covering the ground of what the extra setup and stuff was for the furniture. But long-term, it's definitely going to be worth it. So what I'm doing now is I just ordered the appraisal. I should have that back anytime, and I'm anticipating a valuation to come in right around 1.1. If I get around a 75% loan to value, that should give me an $800,000 or so loan amount. That $800,000 loan amount will allow me to pay off my purchase money loan, my interest, and if it comes in where I'm thinking, almost 100% of my rehab numbers. I'm anticipating getting a 4% investment property loan on here. And so at 4%, my principal interest taxes, just my P&I, my principal and interest will be about $47,000 a year. I should be collecting about $90,000 net of rental income. So I'm going to have some other expenses. I'm going to need to put up some reserves for future replacement costs of wear and tear on the building, as well as, like when a couch breaks or something like that. But I should be able to clear and cash flow with literally no money out of pocket after I get this refinance done, somewhere around $30,000 a year. So for me, that is just fantastic and phenomenal. Not only be able to buy it, get it rented, recapture my approximately $160,000 in out-of-pocket expenses, have a new loan to cover all of that, and still cash flow about $30,000 a month. Or not a month, sorry, a month would be amazing, a year. So that is this example of a BRRRR. Hopefully you could follow along with not only the pictures of the before and after, but also the numbers. Just to quickly recap, 585 purchase, 160 in rehab. I'm probably gonna carry about $40,000 in interest expense along this time. I'm gonna have my costs to refinance it, title, my new origination fees on my new loan. But with the new takeout long-term 30-year fixed loan at 4% of $800,000, I'll have debt, annual debt of about $47,000 a year, short-term rental income of about $90,000 a year. I'm gonna have some other expenses built in there that will have to come out of all of that. But anyway, I should be clearing about $30,000 a year just by using the BRRRR method, acting on a deal. I found it on Facebook. So I hope this was informative. And if you have any questions, reach out. Follow that link if you want my free resources, including my BRRRR calculator. And hopefully you can have success and crush it out there in real estate. All right, quick little recap and update to the triplex at 477 Williams. Finally got all my final expenses back, as well as my appraisal, and I just refinanced it. So we need to update a little bit. I was not quite able to pull all of my cash out. So just as a recap, ended up buying this for $585,000. My final bill for my rehab, including furnishing 3 separate apartments, was $165,000. So I'm $585 for my purchase, $165,000 for my rehab, including my furniture. So what ended up happening is I thought I'd hit $1 million to $1,050,000 appraisal, but it came in a little lower than what I was hoping for. It came in at $900,000, but I was able to still get 80% of loan to value, and so my loan amount is $720,000. So I just closed on this refinance last week. So appraisal came in at $900,000. 80% left me with a loan amount of $720,000. The net result was I was able to, after factoring in all of my costs, my refinance costs, my insurance, my paying off my existing hard money loan from the purchase, all of that stuff, I'm leaving in about $109,000 into the deal. So I was able to get back about $60,000 of my rehab cost, as well as paying all of my transaction fees, and I'm left with about $109,000 into the home. So I wasn't able to zero out 100%, but when you think about it, that's really only about a 10% down payment that was left in after rehabbing it and everything. So I'd still consider that a win. Now, what I ended up doing was I did an interest-only 30-year amortized loan. And so my payment on this thing right now is only $2,400. I will, however, make an extra principal payment because my cash flow is really strong on this one. My first 2 months of Airbnb income resulted in an average of about $7,200 a month. That is after paying my management company, cleaning fees, all that kind of stuff. The gross was actually closer to $10,500. So I am netting about $7,200 a month. My payment on an interest only is $2,400 a month. So that is a difference of about $4,800 a month in income. Now, like I said, I'm gonna pay down some of my principal because I don't wanna have my loan balance stay the same forever. But then I'm gonna also start chipping away and reimbursing myself for the rehab expenses that were not captured in the refinance. So in summary, didn't knock it out of the park and recapture all of my rehab money, but did a pretty darn good BRRRR, only leaving in about 10% of the value of the property. And then after about 2 or 3 years, through the cash flow that I'll have coming in, I'll be no money out of pocket and then pay this thing down and keep enjoying the fruits of the BRRRR.